Hello guys, mind-blowing veg replacer is here again. Before I start I want to say that I made this video as short as possible so please watch it full, it won't take much time. So yeah, let's start. Today I will be exposing CRTN for every bad thing he have done on internet. And also I will be criticizing Catboy in end of this video and responding to Catboy's quote exposed video on me where he for some reason decided to just slander me, just like how CRTN did, and Catboy decided to make it just because CRTN asked him to. First thing I'm gonna be exposing CRTN for his opinion bashing. He cannot handle any hate or opinions about him, and he's not even shy about opinion bashing others openly right inside his video, and here's the fragment from his video.
What if you force me to like that show? I'll block you from my channel.
Is too late. Everyone can force you to like this show whenever they want.
LOL, looks like someone got caught being a hypocrite. Now let me also expose him for being very big stalker. Here's the proof of him mentioning me many times for stupid reasons. Also CRTN have subscribed to my channel, and this counts as stalking too. Here's the proof. Next things I will expose CRTN for, is him not being able to handle criticism and deleting comments. Here's proof of him deleting comments where I criticized him. And also here's screenshot of my other comment, he decided to delete too, because he got mad at me for saying the truth. CRTN also cannot handle criticism so much that he decided to even ban his own native language on his own YouTube channel, and he refused to give valid reason why he banned his own native language. Here's screenshot of his post about him banning his own native language. His reason for that is very stupid, because first of all I never even forced him to and I just asked him to turn on Vietnamese subtitles on my own video so he can understand it correctly. Asking you to do something doesn't mean that I'm forcing you or something. I was just trying to help CRTN, but instead he decided to ban his own native language, because apparently if you tell him in Vietnamese your criticism somehow he would perfectly understand it and he would instantly delete your comment, because it's easier for him to listen to criticism on English language because apparently he barely understands it. This is where the introductory part of the exposed video ends. Sorry if it was kinda messy, I was too lazy during making the first segment, so basically from interim results I already can say that CRTN is just playing victim when he said that I somehow quote forced him to use Vietnamese subtitles when I only trying to help him, and refuses to apologize for any his past mistakes and wrongdoings, and also he likes to be hypocrite a lot. But what if I gonna tell you that he is even worse? Let's start the second final segment of this video with the fact that he also decided to even slander me. Again I have no idea why he thought it was a good idea to make false allegations about me, but I have already responded to them in my response video that you can watch for full context. Again, making false allegations about someone will never work because anyone including me can ask for any proof and that's where your lies will collapse and get exposed. Also right now I'm gonna reveal something about CRTN that nobody have knew about until now. CRTN is actually Islamophobic, and I have concrete proof of that along with a link on Internet Archive snapshot of his community post, and also for context Islamophobia means someone who hates Islam and Muslims. Meanwhile I am not a Muslim. I think him putting Muslim users in same category as literal predators is not only highly disrespectful to their religion but also extremely bad. This directly proves that CRTN hates Muslims and thinks that Muslim users are as bad as predators, and I don't have to explain why that's extremely bad and false. So as you can see CRTN not only disrespected their religion, but also supports infamous predator, and he was also calling people who called him out for supporting Potimer quote hate brats. Imagine not only supporting Potimer who was an infamous Roblox predator, but also somehow making your own post look even worse by relieving the fact that you also hate Muslim users. Next thing I'm gonna expose CRTN for is disrespecting Potimer's victim. As I said before, Potimer is a predator, and for some reason CRTN just cannot stop supporting him, and calls everyone who calls him out for that quote opinion bashers, when it's right thing to call out someone for supporting predators, because that's criticism, and not opinion bashing. So basically as you can see for some fucked up reason CRTN just literally decided to call Potimer's victim a fucking term. Yes, I am not joking, he actually just called a real person who was victim of Potimer a fucking term. There's no excuses for that type behavior. Him being Islamophobic and supporting predators is already unacceptable, but calling victim of Potimer is a term just fucking insane. Imagine saying that swearing is disrespectful, but at same time right after that you calling victim a fucking term. And before that you also said a lot of bullshit that is just fucking stupid. Like what do you mean channel rules? Wrong. Context, I always using every word in right context and I don't even have channel description, so what the fuck are you yapping about there? So that's the end of second segment. So from end results I can say that CRTN is a opinion basher.
Everyone can force you to like the show whenever they want.
And a stalker who also cannot handle any criticism at all and deletes comments with criticism, and even banned his own native language to avoid criticism, and also CRTN slandered me for no reason. And CRTN got mad at me for wanting to expose him for supporting Potimer who was a predator.
Bullshit!
And CRTN is also Islamophobic and disrespected Potimer's victim. From all that we already can make some conclusions that CRTN isn't really a good person as Catboy claims. Also forgot to mention that CRTN also used Catboy to spread lies about me even further. Oh yeah, also about Catboy, let's go to the third segment of this video where I will respond to Catboy's quote exposed video on me that CRTN asked him to make, and also I will debunk lies that Catboy made in that video. That may or may not be intentional, but before I start I want to say very important thing. I will not gonna accuse Catboy of something serious without knowing his side of story. I don't know if he did some of things intentionally or it's just result of him being unprofessional. I just gonna say that this segment is criticism of his video, and also response to it at the same time. Number 1, being a bad user and unfunny user. So that's first point of Catboy's video, and I'm gonna say that first of all CRTN is a bad person, and as you just saw he is actually very bad. I can even say extremely bad and unacceptable. About second I'm gonna say that I agree with it, because I no longer care if someone is unfunny. But about next I do have reasons to call CRTN bad, and I already said them in this video and my previous response video that you can watch for more context. User is so unfunny and ignorant that this makes him a bad user, and my friend Noah Therablocks for Reffing 2010.
What the hell? Oh my...
I have to repeat it again first. I never defended Vor or supported it. For me such stuff is disgusting. Second, as I have said in my response video, even if I was friends with Noah Therablocks for Reffing 2010, it doesn't mean that I somehow support everything he does on internet. I have called out him and criticized him in private messages many times. So please stop twisting context in attempts to make me look bad. You could have just asked me a question about my opinion on Vor, instead of blindly accusing me of liking Vor just because your friend CRTN told you that I quote support it. Again, I have called out Noah Therablocks for Reffing 2010 and criticized him in private messages many times, and I have told him to stop many times too. Which is proves that he is a stalker and obsessed hater of my friend. Number 3, supporting Potimer, as we... Okay Catboy, can you please explain me why you skipped the part where I explained to viewers who Potimer is? You literally cut it off right before I was about to start explaining that Potimer is a predator and that CRTN supports him. You simply cannot use excuse quote I don't know who this guy, so let's just skip it. If you didn't know who this guy is, then why didn't you bother to research information about Potimer? When you make commentary or expose videos, it's very important and critical to research stuff before making video on it. You can't just skip the part of video because you don't know what it's about. This can count as avoiding context to possibly hide something. And also I have question, if you didn't know it then does it mean you didn't watch that part of video? Because in the video I briefly explained who Potimer is, but if you did watch that part of the video then why you just ignored the fact that your friend CRTN supports Predator, and instead of addressing it, you just skipped it completely. Catboy, that's very suspicious for you to just hide such important context from your video. Again, I will not gonna say that Catboy 100% ignored it on purpose to avoid making his friend CRTN look bad, but I just saying that this is very weird, and the excuse doesn't add up, and this makes it look even more suspicious. So Catboy, please explain why you didn't research such important part of my video and just used suspicious looking excuse to just skip it. I hope you aren't trying to hide something from your viewers by skipping that part of my video. Number 7, this user made most dumbest post ever. So when I asked him to stop bullying and making grounding videos out of my friend Noah Therablocks for Reffing 2010. Well, that typo looks very unfortunate. But let's actually talk about next 2 points that Catboy made. That looks very weird and contradicts himself a lot. First of all, bullying my friend and making grounding videos out of him will not stop him. That's just cyberbullying and doesn't work like that. CRTN never even said that he quote protected minors before, because all he did is just mentioning my friend in his dumb posts and he made grounding videos out of him. Stop trying to glaze him and attributing to him traits he doesn't have, just to try to make him look better. Don't forget that CRTN still supports Potimer, who was a child predator. And that CRTN also disrespected Potimer's victim. If CRTN would actually care about minors he wouldn't do and support shit like this. Second of all, my main complaint against CRTN from my rant video was him supporting predators. Again, stop attributing to him traits he doesn't have, just to try to make him look better and to try to make me look worse. This will never work. Again, even if you will try to twist context, this will never work. Don't forget the fact that you for some reason decided to skip very important part of my rant video where I explained that Potimer is a predator and that CRTN supports him, and even trying to make stupid excuses to try to justify himself still supporting Potimer, who was a predator. And also it cannot be ignored that CRTN even tried to justify child abuse in his grounding videos by saying that it's quote fictional.
Oh my god. This show sucks.
How will be this show suck? Can you explain why?
Let me explain why I hate this show. Number 1, child abuse.
Brew. Their characters are not real but fictional characters.
Notice that he doesn't even deny it. He instead trying to justify his grounding videos having child abuse in it by saying that it's quote fictional, which doesn't makes it any better. This makes CRTN look even worse. Seriously CRTN, what the fuck is wrong with you? I am not ashamed of the fact that I have rightfully exposed your friend for all his horrible actions. I think you should be ashamed of the fact that you blindly defended him without first hearing my side, even when I asked you to listen to my side, but you didn't, and still uploaded the video. I want to know why you did it. I know this expose and response video came out late, but you could have at least remind me about this video sometimes, so I could have finished it earlier. Potimer is a fucking predator, and CRTN supports him. This looks very suspicious that you have ignored and even skipped part of my rant video where I briefly explained who Potimer is. I really want you to address that, because your excuse quote I don't know who this guy is, doesn't adds up at all, and looks extremely suspicious, why you have ignored the fact that your friend CRTN supports Predator. I am not saying that you 100% definitely ignored and skipped it on purpose, but I, just saying that this all looks very suspicious. The main reason why I made that rant in the first place is the fact that CRTN supports Potimer, who is a predator, and you call out other people who support predators, but when it's your friend CRTN for some reason you have skipped and ignored it. That's very suspicious. Please address that. As I have said before, the main reason why I made that rant in the first place is the fact that CRTN supports Potimer, who is a predator, and second of all, he is the only one who cannot leave me alone even after many months. You can look at how many times he have mentioned me, slandered me. And CRTN even made fake exposed video on me, that I have already responded to in my previous response video. I hope from this exposed video on CRTN you already have realized the true reason why I made this video. And I just had to make it, because I cannot let him get away with any of horrible actions, including the fact that he even have slandered me. If he expected to get away with all of this, he was wrong. The answer to this question is simple. It was just a hint that the video would be released soon. I can't believe it, but looks like I have finally finished something I wanted to finish a while ago, but I have finally finished it. So yeah, it's time to sum up the results. From what I already have exposed about CRTN, I can say that he is a bad person, because for me he haven't changed even slightly for past 8 months. I also want to say very important context. I wanted to explain to him what he was doing wrong many times before and gave him a chance to listen to criticism and improve, but all these times he either ignored it, deleted my comments, or called my criticism invalid without even explaining why. CRTN is one of those people who let Potimer get away with everything, because CRTN still tries to make stupid excuses to continue to support Potimer, who is a predator. I tried to tell him what he doing was wrong, but looks like it's impossible to him to admit his own mistakes and handle any criticism. For him that's just impossible, because he refuses to do it every time. CRTN all I wanted is just to explain you what you did wrong, but looks like it's easier for you to just avoid all criticism and call it invalid without even explaining why. I think you have never changed. If you would have actually changed, you wouldn't have done all shit you have done to me. What you have done is unacceptable. You already proven to me that you haven't changed even slightly for past 8 months. You have lied about me and slandered me many times. You has been stalking me for the last 3 months. You even used Catboy to tell him your lies about me to make him spread your lies about me even further. I don't care if you really didn't wanted this video to come out along with response video. I had to make this exposed video not only to clean my name from your lies, but also because I had to, because you forced me to make it, because you have lied about me many times and refused to admit to your mistakes. I know that in your response video you will only deny everything, saying that it is all invalid, and you will never explain why it is invalid. I think you will never apologize and admit your mistakes, and when people gonna ask you questions, you will ignore and avoid them. Don't expect me to ever forgive you. You got what you have deserved for lying about me. If you expected to get away with all shit you have done to me, then you were very wrong. Never interact with me ever again. And now let's talk about Catboy. For me, Catboy is two-sided person in this story. Despite some of his suspicious moments, like one when he have skipped and probably purposely ignored very important part of my video about CRTN, again I cannot say that he 100% definitely did it on purpose, but I gonna say that his excuse looks very suspicious and doesn't adds up, and if he actually hide important part of my video, to not make CRTN look bad, then Catboy should admit his mistake, and apologize for that. But if there's any other reason for this, then I ready to listen to. Catboy, again I think it's important to remember that Catboy made his exposed video, only because CRTN asked him to, so I can't really blame Catboy for all this, but I want to say that there's still many suspicious moments regarding Catboy, because nobody forced him to join the drama and he could have just said no to CRTN or first listen to my side before making video, but he didn't listen to my side first before making his video, and he said yes to CRTN, so for me I gonna say that. Meanwhile I am not calling Catboy guilty, I do call him unprofessional for the way he have handled this whole drama, and also I would recommend him to cut ties with CRTN for being Islamophobic and supporting Potimer, who was a predator, and other stuff he have done that I have covered in this exposed video, and also I would recommend Catboy to apologize or explain himself for skipping the important part of video. So yeah, despite all of this, I think I can forgive Catboy and let him redeem himself and give him second chance, and I want to let him respond to me in comments. I am ready to answer any questions from the comments and provide any proofs if needed. All I want is for this drama to finally end, and I want CRTN to be held accountable for his actions and horrible stuff he have done to me. So yeah, I think this can be the end of the video. The moral is very simple. Don't be like CRTN and don't lie about others because false allegations never work. See you later. Don't forget to share this video to spread awareness about CRTN's actions and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Goodbye.